All right, Jennifer, you're the host now, and please feel free to make me co-host as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. I like your friend there.
My friend. Come here.
I've got kitty friends.
Oh, Bo's my sidekick.
What a cutie.
Hello. Hey, hi.
He's a
Nice cricket.
cutie. This must be very hard for dogs. They can't smell us through the computer.
He just keeps wondering where all these voices keep coming from all the time. Right.
Ghosts.
He's a pretty good help. Make sure that there's dog hair in every craft that I create. If there's glue involved, there's a dog hair somewhere in it. Rest assured.
Yep, the same here.
Let's see, we're missing.
Animal lovers will understand, right?
Yes. It's not complete without a dog hair or two in it. I lost y'all for a minute. All right. Can y'all hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I hear you.
Very good. Okay. I lost y'all there for a second. I don't know what happened. All right. Now, what happened to Carol Sue? We've got some more in here. I don't know where they went to.
Jennifer, I can't see you. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, Carol Sue. I knew you'd be coming. I keep losing everybody for some reason.
No, I had a hard time getting in. How's Mr. Bo doing?
Oh, it's good. Say hello to Carol Sue, Bo.
Hey, Bo,
Hi.
I love you.
He has his own fan club. And how's everybody out there today?
Good.
Great.
Is it a good Sunday afternoon?
Absolutely.
So far, so good? All right. Very good. Well, welcome to everybody. I am Jennifer. If you don't know me, I know some of you, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. Is there anybody that's never had a Get Set Up class on their computer, on their Zoom before? Is this your first time going to one? First time attending?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Is it Dietrich?
Yes.
Well, welcome. We have Anthony on here, and you probably see him in the chat over there. And he's part of our Get Set Up support team. And if you have questions or if you have connection problems, if you're having issues with the Zoom, he is here to help you because I am certainly not the Zoom expert. And I usually stay busy doing what I'm doing. But he is here to help you all enjoy and make the most out of your Get Set Up experience. So thank you, Anthony, for your help. You can also, like he put in the chat, you can request a session recording of this for the next 30 days if you just email help@getsetup.io. I do like to introduce myself a little, since some of you I don't know. My name is Jennifer Kimball. I'm actually a registered nurse. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I tell everybody this is my therapy class because I don't actually have to be a nurse. I get to do what I love and have some friends in to do it with me. So, but yes, by trade, I am a nurse, and I do have some other classes on here that are more health education related. I figured this is pretty good for health because, again, it's therapeutic. And if any of you are as crafty as me, you look forward to that time. And you probably have a house full of items that you don't know what to do with, or you look at them and you don't want to throw them away because you think I could make something out of that. So, and I see some head nods, so I know I'm not the only one. We do have some people with us that are here pretty regularly, and I love to see y'all come and bring your projects back that you've worked on and share with me, because I find it pretty inspiring to see what you do. It kind of leads me to create something else. So I've got a couple things that one thing I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna start with something else today. By the way, we don't sell anything on Get Set Up. We're guides. If I show you what I've used, it's simply because I used it. We don't promote any kind of brands or anything like that. But a lot of what I use is stuff that I just find in my house. And if you ask me a brand, I don't even know what it is. So we're going to do something a little interesting today. So I had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, and my daughter decided for the first time she was insistent that I celebrate, because for me, I'm just glad to work. I don't, I'm old enough, I've had enough birthdays that I don't really look forward to the spotlight. I just like to work and appreciate the fact I've made it another year. So she was pretty insistent that I celebrate this year. So she had a surprise party for me at my home. So she had an enormous amount of balloons that were, it was actually, she had gotten them from a neighbor that had some huge party at their house, and they had, I guess, paid for decorations with balloons, and they were just going to get rid of them and had put it out on the neighborhood social media page. And she decided she could use them for her surprise party. So she managed to hide them in her room until my party. And then when the party was done, we're left with this enormous amount of balloons. So I thought, I wonder if there's anything I can do with these balloons. So I did one thing already, and I will get to that in a little while, but I have all of these balloons left that, yes, I spent time letting the air out of them and enlisted my husband's help to let the air out of them because he, had nothing better to do, right? And he's over there laughing. Yeah, I had nothing better to do. So we deflated the balloons. Some of them were already deflated, and I saved them because I thought, there's bound to be something I can do with those. I have made things in years past with balloons that were brand new. This was a little different since they were used, and they actually got to use for 2 functions. And I decided there were so many of them, I'm bound to be able to do something with them. So I kind of like that challenge, what I can come up with. So I did make one thing, but I'm going to go back to that in a few minutes, and then I will show you. I actually didn't even get it off the door over there, so you might want to grab that for me. My husband's my assistant today. He gets to assist me more often than he probably cares to. So for what is left, we're going to put some of these balloons to use. And first of all, I'm going to leave it kind of a surprise. This is an artist canvas that my daughter purchased at some point, and then she evidently got careless and set something on it and busted it. So you see it's got a little tape on the back, right? She was going to get rid of it. She asked me if I wanted it. I said, of course I do. I'll salvage it for something. So it's got a little, just a little, what do you call it, tape? The yellow tape on it. What's it called? I'm a blank. It didn't really matter. Masking tape. Thank you. Senior moment. So I put that on there. It's not really going to matter in the long run that it's there, and I'll show you why. So step 1, I picked out this lovely little piece of kind of blue paper, kind of a turquoise. And it actually came out of a box of decoupage papers that somebody had given me years ago. And I'm going to move my camera so that y'all can see, hopefully. This is always the tricky part because I don't want my camera to fall off my computer. So I'm going to take some matte Mod Podge, and you can get that Walmart or the craft stores or wherever. And I'm going to decoupage this right onto, y'all, I buy my glue in large supplies. You know this. There's a reason for it. I'm just going to take this. We're going to put it right on the front. I bet y'all don't have any idea where it's going. Carol Sue, you got any guesses?
No, you have me stumped.
See, I usually tell you ahead of time what I'm doing. This time it's left to a surprise.
$1 a goal this summer soon. For 1/3 of the way there.
If you've never done decoupage, it's like the easiest thing ever. And if you've got glue and a surface to put something on, you can decoupage. So I use it a lot because it's easy. You can't really mess it up, you know. I like stuff that's foolproof. It may not turn out like you expect it to, but it probably won't go wrong. I'll just say that. So coating it real good on one side. And I could just put it down on the canvas too. It's either way. And I'm going to set it on here and try to get it somewhat centered. And that's really not going to make much of a difference either. But, and then I'm going to take that same glue and go all over the top of it. Looks difficult, doesn't it? If you got a sponge brush or a paintbrush, I like the sponge brushes because the paintbrushes tend to want to leave bristles in your stuff. And I've got dog hair for that. I don't need bristles too. Mine might be a little bit wrinkled, but I'm not going to get too picky. I think that's because my knee is underneath it. Okay. So while that is drying, I'm going to get my beautiful assistant. That's my husband. I'm going to get my beautiful assistant to take it and put it in front of a fan so I can kind of put a rush on the drying for class purposes. Also because I'm not really very patient. That's the truth. So he's going to take it and put it in front of a fan for me. And I'm going to go back to the other thing that I made. Once I get the glue off my hands and I can touch my computer again. Okay. So I told you I made something else involving the balloons. So I got creative. You're going to love this. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see, because I took pictures along the way. All right. Can y'all see that? Very good. Okay. So this is just to show you how many balloons there were. There's a lot. They went on for days. Lots of them. So you understand why I hated to just like throw them away. And so did the neighbor when they used them. They hated to throw them away too. So, and I probably should have turned this over the other way, but you can see, if you see, these are some of the items that I pulled out to use. Some ribbon that I had. I didn't buy anything for this. I pulled out some other, I'm really not sure what it's called, but you see it there kind of in the middle. Not exactly sure what it is. I didn't end up using it, but color coordinating, I kind of pulled it out in case I wanted to use it. I could have. But you see that round thing right there in the middle? See if there's another one. That white ring is packing from a box. I can't recall what was in the box, but I pulled it out of a box at some point when we received something or we bought something, purchased something, and that is styrofoam, just a styrofoam ring. And I saw that, and immediately, what am I thinking? A wreath. So I also had this 2-pack of these smaller wreath rings, and I thought about using that. I did not end up using it, but I'm trying to help you understand where I was going with this. And you can know that you may have done something different, but to give you other ideas. So there's some of the ribbon again. These are just various pictures. And there's the balloons. And some of them are larger than others. So now you can kind of see that styrofoam ring. It is nothing but pure packing material. And so you get that I don't throw a lot away, huh? So I began to hot glue those balloons around that just to make sort of a wreath. And I mean, literally all I did was hot glue them around in different, no pattern, just wherever and however I wanted them. And if you look at that styrofoam, on one side, it's flat, and the other side, this side, it's actually raised. It has like a lip. So I kind of decided to use that lip on the front side of the wreath because it kind of gave it more dimension. Not that you'd be able to tell it really when it's covered up, but you can feel the difference when you pick it up. So that was the completed glued on balloons. Kind of cute right there, isn't it? So then I thought, okay, what am I going to do with it now? So I decided to add a little ribbon. And I had that ribbon. I don't know where it came from. I may have purchased it years ago, or it may have been given to me by somebody, but I've had it for a long time. It just happened to kind of go with the colors in those balloons. So we went with that. It also kind of happens to match some of the colors in my guest bedroom, which is convenient. So I made a ribbon, tied one, made a bow and added that. And that was the completed wreath. I added some ribbon to hang it with. And there you have it. All leftover balloons and a little ribbon on a piece of styrofoam. Now, if you don't have some of these kind of things at home, the next time you have balloons or something, you're going to be, don't throw those away. You're going to want to keep them for something. You're going to be thinking about this. I actually, many years ago, made some barrettes, one for my daughter to wear that had brand new balloons on them. And they were just hot glued on and in bright festive colors. And it was a beautiful barrette. And I remember doing that, and there was a lot of compliments on it. And so I think this just turned out really cute. If you want to see it up close, there's the back side. I just tied on some ribbon on the top to hang it with. And it's very lightweight because, again, it's styrofoam. So I think that's really a pretty easy task. Anybody can do this. If you didn't want to use hot glue, you might find another glue that dries fast. You could probably use Mod Podge on this too. It dries clear. I just thought the hot glue is going to dry a lot faster and keep the balloons in place faster. And I actually did all of this yesterday. So it didn't take very long, not very long at all. And I didn't have to make a trip to the store. So that was nice. So I don't know. I guess my picture's not dry yet. So I have to ask y'all, for who was here before, did you bring anything back to share with us that you have worked on since my other classes. If anybody has, and Marlene usually does. Marlene, I don't think Marlene, not the right Marlene is here. She usually brings something to share. Nobody today? Come on. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Oh, did somebody have something? I heard noise.
Yes, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis. Can you hold it up close to the camera so I can see? That's really, is that crochet?
Crochet earring.
Wow, that's really cool. I never learned to crochet.
Yeah.
No, that's really nice. I've never crocheted. I've never knitted. I've never crocheted. That's two of the things I have not learned to do. And I was afraid if I learned, I would get so carried away and caught up. I would not have room in my house for all the yarn and everything. That's really nice. Do you do a lot of that, Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Is it a lot of jewelry?
Another one.
That's talent. Now, do you make those as gifts or do you sell them?
No, my sister decided they want me to use my talent and make some earrings. So
Very
I tried to
nice.
do it.
Very nice. Yeah, I've not really ever made a lot of jewelry. I've made some bracelets out of paracord and stuff like that, but I've never crocheted and never did. There's some of the most beautiful blankets and Afghans and things that are crochet. I just admire them so much. But I knew that if I ever started it, I might get really carried away. And I do a lot of counted cross stitch and love that. And so I have a lot of that stuff. I get a thumbs up from Jen. She must understand that. And those pictures are enormous. And so they take years to finish. So I was almost afraid to get involved in you know, the crochet and knitting, but it's beautiful pieces. And for some of you, were any of y'all here when we did the face plates for the light switches? It was not the last time, but the time before. Carol Sue missed it, I know, because we talked about it last time. And because you can see behind me, these light switches back here. We painted those. And they actually match the room and the rug in here. And there's actually another one over there that you might can see underneath that bicycle picture. And that was done with some simple acrylic paint and some plastic wrap. And that was kind of fun. So I've been tempted to do it to my other rooms. It's probably a really good thing that I don't have any more time on my hands than I do, because there's like nothing off limits in my house. And my family's pretty aware of that. So I go around saying, I'd like to do this or that. And they just shake their head like, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But then when I'm finished doing whatever, they go, oh, I like it. I love that. So I sponged an entire room several months ago. And when they first came in and they were seeing it, it kind of looked like there was blood coming out of the walls because of the way it was dripped down with a sponge. And they were like, okay, it was okay until now. Now I'm afraid. And I had to finish and prove to them that I wasn't trying to create like something out of a haunted house. It was okay. And they're happy with it. They like it now. They trust me to a certain point, and then they walk in and see things and they start going, what is she doing? So I worry them sometimes. So my husband brought the picture back in, the canvas, and it's still a little bit wet. So I sent it back in there to the fan. We got to make sure it's good and dry. Have to make sure it's good and dry, because the next step, I really need to put some paint on there. If it doesn't dry fast, then I may skip part of it and come back to it, because I can move on to the balloon part. Yeah, it's still drying. Still drying. So where's everybody from?
Michigan.
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 Roseville, California.
California. We got any New Yorkers?
Georgia,
Where?
Georgia,
Georgia. Welcome. Where are you in Georgia?
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain. Okay, that's the Atlanta area, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome. We don't usually have many from Georgia, so that's good. Where else? We have any Floridians? No Floridians. I'm originally from St. Augustine Beach, Florida. So sometimes we have some Floridians in here too. And
AZ.
where?
AZ.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Arizona. Ooh, let's see. Carol, so you're in Chicago, aren't you? I think she's in Chicago or maybe Michigan. We get a lot of Michiganders in here.
Yeah, I used to be.
I figure
in
you only got a
Pontiac,
lot of craft time up in the cold.
Yeah, I used to be in Pontiac, Michigan.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
And you ended up in Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate all these people in the north at this point after having Snowmageddon down here this year. Y'all can have it. I don't want it.
These
I
classes are so neat that we can come together all over the country and be
Yeah.
together and do crafts.
Well, and all from all over the world. Do we have anybody here from overseas today outside of the US? Nobody? We usually have some people from the UK, South Africa, Australia. We do have some from all over the world. And it's just such a cool thing that,
That's so neat.
you know, if anything good came out of the pandemic, I think it was the fact that people really became accustomed with Zoom because I didn't know how to do it. You
didn't
know,
either.
the kids that were in school using it were teaching all the adults. And I think if anything came out of it that was a good thing, this might have been one thing. If anything, this might have been one thing. Get Set Up was actually started before the pandemic. Little known fact, probably, but it actually started several months before the pandemic without any knowledge that that was going to happen. It was a very coincidental timing. So it couldn't have been more perfect for seniors who were, you know, pretty much left at home and told to stay home. It was no more perfect time.
That's really neat.
Yes. Okay. So my board here, he has brought back. It's drying. It's got a little wrinkle in it. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that. I may have to work around that, but that's okay. I call myself the Bob Ross of crafts because it's always happy little accidents and nothing comes out quite like you plan. I'm kind of trying to let the air out from under that if I can. It's got a little air bubble and that's what's caused it. And I think it will be okay anyway. The good thing about crafts like this is you don't have any rules. Whatever happens, happens, and nobody can tell you that you're right or wrong. Okay, and you see how it's still white up here? It's actually pretty well dry on top. It's just a little bit underneath. That Mod Podge is really great as a sealant. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work with this. Now I might have to decide. Let's see. Maybe I'll do it this way. So I'm going to stencil a letter in the middle of this. And I'm just debating, do I do it this way or this way? I think I'm going to go with this way. What do you think? I'm going to mix up just a little bit of paint. And the reason that I'm going to mix that up, and look, okay, you know what that is? That's my paint mixing cup. Do you know where it came from? It was the top of body spray from Bed Bath and Body Works. And yeah, so I use anything. I'm going to mix up a little bit of white with just a little drop of brown, just because I don't want it to be stark white. And I'm just using some acrylic paint, nothing fancy. Really old acrylic paint. This one's golden brown. And I don't really need much of that. And I'm going to mix it up just a little bit so it looks more like an off-white instead of a white. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's kind of, my light probably makes it look more white. See if I can put this down here without my camera falling off. All right. Yeah, we got a little bubble under there, but that's okay. Most of that is not going to show. And this, I don't even know where the stencil came from. I have a package of stencils. Obviously, this has never been used. So what is the K for? Nobody's asked me that, huh?
Kimball, maybe?
That is right. I figured that was the easiest. And hopefully this will turn out okay. And you're like, where are the balloons coming into this? They're coming. Y'all are going to be going out and robbing all the neighborhood children of their party favors when we're done. Okay. See if that looks like a K or something therein. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not too bad. Not too bad for a quick job. All right. And there is, so it's, I don't know if you can tell because of the light, but it's just a shade different because of that brown than this white. And I'm going to cover up that white. So I'm going to leave that K that way. Hopefully it's going to dry pretty quickly. I won't send it back to the fan. And here is where the balloons come in. So I'm going to take it and embellish the entire outside of it with balloons, hot glue and balloons. That's it. And I bet we have plenty. Let's see if I can get them all out before. I have lots of balloons left. And there's about 3 different shades, but most of them are this color. And that's okay, because that's one of the shades in the room in there in the rug that this will probably end up going into. I'm going to take my hot glue gun and start gluing. How hard is that? I told you I like these things that you can't really screw up. What do you think that's going to turn out like? It'll be festive, huh? So this is why some of these, where it's got bubbles up underneath it a little bit, it's really not going to matter. It's going to be mostly covered anyway. If you're the perfectionist, by all means, take more time than I am in doing this in a class, because you can smooth it out. You can make it however you want it. So you don't sit and look at it on your wall or wherever you put it and say, oh, I wish I would have done this different or that different. There's no need for that. Anybody else got hot glue strings all over their entire house? Or is it just me? And hot glue blisters all the time on your fingers? Yeah, that happens. Constantly. Hey, if y'all are ever interested in hosting an interest group too on Get Set Up, you should contact Liz at getsetup.io. She would love to hear from you too. Now, if you didn't know these were used balloons, you'd probably think they were brand new. Most of them. By the way, if y'all are using a hot glue gun too, you don't have to. This one is one of those that gets really, 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 really hot. I don't necessarily advise that. If you're good at it, that's great. If you are not well practiced at it, you will wind up with some pretty significant blisters. There are some that are a lower temperature and they're probably smarter to use, but I never said I was smart. So. And see, that paint has already dried on there. And I kind of try to just turn these balloons every which way. So they're all a little different. There's no pattern. Again, you can do no right or wrong. What do you think so far? It's going to be kind of cute. You'll never look at balloons the same way again. And I think the beauty of it is between the wreath and this that will hang, those balloons are always going to mean what to me? Got memories attached to it of my daughter insisting that I have a party. And to tell you that it has memories attached to it, I'll share this little tidbit of story with you. The people that she invited to my party were very select. There was my own elderly parents, their elderly next door neighbors, some other seniors, they're, friends. But one of the people who attended is a young man who considers me second mom and happens to be one of my daughter's best friends. And he attended the party and we had a lot of fun and visited, and there was a few other people there. And sadly, that young man was caught in a house fire on Friday morning and died. And so we have had a very trying couple of days. These balloons, being that it was a party and he was part of it, and we have some memories attached to it, actually have more significant meaning, probably because of that. It's been a tragic couple of days. You never like to get that phone call. So certainly anything that brings meaning to the things that you put in your house, I think, things that are significant, I think hold a lot more value than something you put a lot of money into to hang on your wall. So he was in on the supplies the whole time, which was pretty special. So don't y'all think this looks difficult? If I can do it, anybody can. Anybody else have any thoughts on what you could do with these?
You're doing a professional job.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that. I enjoy the challenge of just coming up with something to do with these things. I think that's the fun in it. And I will probably always associate it with my 17-year-old little friend that we will always cherish. So, Mr. Davis, I can't crochet, but I can make something out of your remnants.
That's the best way
Out of
to
the
do
yarn
it.
remnants. That's right. So we've got a throwaway canvas because my daughter was going to toss it, although it was brand new, and she didn't tend to it very well. We started out with that and a piece of paper and some old balloons. This would probably be good. I think if you had different colors, maybe for if a theme for a baby's room or something with balloons, that would be sweet. Now, what's always challenging is seeing if I can get something that I can actually finish during the hour while we're together. Because sometimes that's hard. How many things can you do and finish it, start to finish in an entire, 1 hour, 60 minutes? That's always a challenge. Oh, by the way, if you do something like this, it will take a lot of hot glue. You got to have enough hot glue, or else you'll be running out to buy some. And, most of my classes, I also tell one of the reasons that I am resourceful, I guess, with using what I have is not just because I'm a nurse and you have to be resourceful with your things, but because I hate shopping. I loathe shopping. I hate it. I don't want to go to the grocery store. I don't want to go to Walmart. I don't want to go anywhere. If I'm given the choice, I do not want to shop. I just don't enjoy it. I am happy to stay home and mow the yard. I do not want to shop. I'm probably somehow just not right, but that's me. And to each his own, right? And I'm going to tell y'all that I'm going to have a lot of balloons left still. And this is after making 2 things out of it. I told y'all there was a lot of balloons. Does anybody in here today do any paper quilling? No? I've done a good bit since the pandemic started. I just learned how to do it, and that's really therapeutic and enjoyable too. And you can do it pretty inexpensively, if not free, after you have the tools, and the tools are cheap. So, and you can make some beautiful things with paper quilling.
I don't believe I've ever heard of that before, paper quilling.
You know what? It's really an old art, and everything is using paper. You're just rolling paper. I mean, but it's so therapeutic. You can make, the sky's the limit. I mean, you can make anything that your little mind can create. You can make it out of paper, and these things don't even look like paper sometimes. It's pretty amazing. I've seen some portraits that people have done of their pets, and they are completely paper quilled. They're made of paper. They take a portrait, and instead of drawing it, they make it with paper. And it is phenomenal. I am not that talented yet. I don't have that skill down yet, but I would love to think I could do that one day. It's so great. All right, I think I've added just almost everything that I'm going to add. And again, the beauty to this is you can't really get it wrong. There's no rules. Now, somebody can tell me they don't like it, but that doesn't mean I broke any rules, right? Or I might finish it and say I don't like it, but I didn't really have a lot to lose with what I put into it, so. I think I might just need one more white. And I might look at it and go back and put a little more glue in places or something like that. But yeah, I might need a little more. My K is not centered very well now, is it? I think it's closer on one side than the other now. This is when the OCD comes out.
I just say all my crafts are rustic.
All right, can y'all hear me? I lost you again there for a second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Just making sure. Okay. So I've placed balloons. I'm going to probably do 1 or 2 more things here. And it just kind of looks like a little collage, right?
We're not seeing you on the big screen, though. I think other people are active speakers.
Let me see here. Speaker view.
Now I can see you.
You can see me now. Okay.
I can't.
So
There you go.
Yep. So far we've got that. And I could probably just leave it like that. You know, I might go back and cover up a little bit more in the corners, and I'll add a little bit of glue, but what I'm going to do, pick up some of the balloons that I have here and put them back in the box because I still have, look at this. I still have this many balloons left. Y'all thought I was kidding when I said I had a lot. I did make a little bow out of some of the ribbon that I had. This is the old ribbon. Clearly, I don't think I bought this, but it looks like it was $1 or something somewhere at some point. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. But I thought I might try to add that. I also thought, okay, y'all know I'm from Louisiana, right? I'm in Louisiana. So what goes on in Louisiana that doesn't go on everywhere else? I know y'all can answer this. Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. Okay.
Mardi Gras. So I have at my house 2 gazillion minimally Mardi Gras beads. Okay. So I oftentimes will use them in things. So I thought, hadn't glued that on yet. I thought that I might cut off a few of these and just glue them on randomly. Kind of looks festive, kind of like a confetti kind of look. And I've used them for many things in the past, and also thought that that blue might be a nice color to go in here with this paper. So I'm going to cut just a few of them. You know you're in Louisiana when you can color coordinate everything you have with Mardi Gras beads. It's pretty evident you live in Cajun country. And I'm actually in Shreveport, which is about 5 hours north of New Orleans, where the big Mardi Gras parades and stuff happened. You know, we missed them all last year because, well, actually, we missed them this year. Last year was COVID. And so this year, we were not out of the pandemic in time for the Mardi Gras parades. So we were not really allowed to have Mardi Gras parades. So we missed them this year. But I probably have enough beads that I could have my own Mardi Gras parade for about 6 blocks. So, and I'm going to cut just, these beads here are not silver. They're actually an off color that almost looks like this peach kind of color. I don't really know what they are. They have a tint to them. They're very unique. You don't see many like that. So I'm going to cut a few of those too. And then the white. And I think we will find a place and stick those on there. I have to cut all the string off in between them. And then I have the old white ones. And I have a ton of those. You wouldn't believe all the things I've used Mardi Gras beads for as well. Okay. Go back down here. And you see how nicely these would show up if you just kind of put them here and there. Kind of gives it a little bit of sparkle. Gotta get a refill on the glue. Oh, that one might not be seen. There we go. Just a little embellishment there that I think will give it a little bit of sparkle. Looks a little more like Louisiana that way too, quite frankly. I like that blue on there. What about y'all? I like the blue ones the best, I think. Ooh, y'all are so quiet today. It must be raining everywhere and everybody's sleepy.
That's looking good.
All right, so what do we think about a little bow in the corner? This kind of bow, not the dog bow over there. He's sleeping too. He's tired now that he's barked. Let that dry for a second. Yes, you will have hot glue strings all over everything for a while. You'll be pulling them off of things for a while. But I think that it's going to turn out kind of cute. And if I decide it's not enough balloons, I still have more I can add. I may add one here. I don't know. But, you know, what do you think? I think it needs another one right there.
You did a perfect job.
I think that bow still hasn't dried completely, but I think that it's a perfect way to, I like ways to preserve memories, and this will definitely be associated with my birthday this year. And with a different meaning now, I think, since, you know, one of our loved ones died just a few days afterwards, and that was there to celebrate with us and had a part in planning it. So it'll take on a little bit different meaning and some new meaning, and I have every appreciation for that. So I'm going to add one more balloon here. I think I'm going to like it better that way. And I'm betting that there's not one of you out there that's going to tell me I did it wrong. Uh-oh. All right. You're still here. Okay. So I just added one. What do you think?
I can't see you.
You can't see me. Let me see. Is that better?
No, I see the guy that crochets, Derek Davis.
The people
You
who have their
probably need-
mics on are popping up.
You probably need to go into your settings and
No, it's the people who have their mics on. They're popping up in speaker view.
for some reason. If you'll go into your settings, you can pin me and make sure
I see you
that
now.
you can hear and you can see.
I can see you.
Oh, good. Okay. So out of all the balloons and all these I have left, I've got two great ideas for use. Now, it may be uncommon that you come up with so many balloons unless you go and buy them. But if you really like that, then, you know, it's not really expensive to go to the Family Dollar store or wherever and buy you some balloons. But I think there's a number of things that you can do. And this is just a little thinking outside the box. And it'll make a nice little, well, minus some of the hot glue, it'll make a nice little filler for a bedroom. Mine's still kind of got some wrinkles down here. I may actually add a little bit of something in there just to cover that up if I'm not happy with it. But I think there's any number of things you can do. Also, this canvas, it's one of those with the wood in it, the wood frame. So I'll probably just glue a hanger on the back to hang it. And that's really much easier. You can put if you've got wood, you can put the little screws or the nails in them. But I tend to, something this lightweight, I tend to just glue it on there with super glue. And they stay really well. So I hope that will get you thinking outside the box today. and inspire you to do something with some things that you have at home. And I hope that you will bring them back next time and share them. That's always a pleasure for me. And Mr. Davis, I welcome you to Get Set Up and hope that you will come back. And I'm so happy that you shared what you made. I'm always impressed with crochet and knitting, either one, just because it's kind of that mystery to me. I don't know how in all my years I have avoided doing any of that from childhood, because some of the things I learned to do, I don't recall learning. I did it so young. And so
Trust me.
I admire you. You are talented.
Trust me, you don't want to start crocheting.
You must.
I have crates and crates of yarn.
Well, Ms. Norris, if you have crates and crates, just send them to me.
I use them myself. I crochet myself.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
I
working on-
appreciate y'all.
I'm working on an Afghan right now.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Well, y'all, please join me next time. Carol Sue, good to see you again, back with us. And I hope you'll join me again and bring your creations with you, because I really do appreciate when you share them with the rest of us. You can inspire the rest of us too.
Have a great week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you,
be
Jennifer.
safe.
Bye.
Be safe.
you too.